What is the situation of CNH floating notes at the moment?
Sure. CNH floating rate notes has been very rare. And as you understand, the CNH notes have been predominantly fixed rate notes. But there have been 4 issuances by Chinese banks, China Development Bank, and also HSBC China as well. HSBC China issued another floating rate notes this year, January. And their interest rate was Shibor minus 60 basis point, and the size was 1 billion renminbi. And it was a quarterly based interest payment scheme. But this has been there have been only 4 issuances, and therefore actually the floating rate notes have been very rare in CNH market.
So we understand CNH floating notes seems to be quite rare.
Right.
Could you explain a little bit more why is that case?
Sure. Main reasons that people think is that actually the reference rate for CNH floating rate has not been good, and they have been using only Shibor. But Shibor itself it's not a good reference rate that the CNH floating rate can use. And why it's not good? Because the Shibor has been very volatile. If you look at 4 years, 5 years chart of a Shibor, it's very up and down. So it's quite volatile. So, but for CNH notes, floating rates, you gotta have a very good stable reference rate. But Shibor cannot serve as a good reference rate.
What is Shibor?
Shibor is a sort of a short term for Shanghai Interbank Offer Rate, and Shibor is equivalent to LIBOR in the sense that it has been formulated in the same way as LIBOR has been formulated. So basically, it means China's top 16 banks lending rate to each other. And the only difference between LIBOR and also Shibor is that LIBOR is sort of globally used, and also the participants of 16 banks are global banks. In contrast, Shibor is only formulated for top 60 banks domestically in PRC. So it's a good reflection of Chinese domestic banks' lending ability, but it's not a good reflection of global banks' lending ability in renminbi. And that's Shibor. And Shibor has been 8 schemes from overnight to 1 year Shibor. But normally for CNH floating rates, the 3-month Shibor has been used. However, the Shibor has a big problem. As I said previously, it is very volatile. The reason why it's volatile is that the Chinese banks tend to not to lend to each other because of competition. Therefore, there is no good flow of lending facilities between the banks, and that's why it has been very volatile.
How would you view the prospects of CNH floating notes?
Sure. Although, as I said previously, Shibor has a big problem, which is volatility. However, we see CNH floating rate can be still a good option for investors and also issuers as well. From the investors' perspectives, it's a good hedge against inflation, and also it's a good hedge against fluctuation of interest rates as well. And also, it's a sort of renminbi-based product. Therefore, investors can invest into the economy, which is growing for China. And from the issuers' perspectives, actually, it gives a lot of good arbitrary opportunity between onshore rate and also offshore rate too. Since offshore rate tends to be lower than offshore borrowing rate they can use, so it's good borrowing opportunity for the issuers as well. And also as I said previously, Shibor is a big problem of which is volatility. So, but if we try to issue only short-term tenor, then the volatility can be minimized. So we can try to use Shibor plus short-term tenor. Then it can give a lot good opportunities for investors and also issuers as well. However, as I said, the Shibor has a systematic problem, which is a volatility. So we can try to, the one recommendation that we can give to market and also regulators to develop more stabilized reference rate, which is based in Hong Kong. And then Hong Kong has a lot of CNH deposit and also a lot of global banks which are present in Hong Kong. Then we can try to develop Hong Kong LIBOR, which is Hong Kong renminbi interbank offer rate, it can be a better reference rate than SHIBOR.
Thank you.